Hello and welcome to Always Elite. Today we'll be reviewing AEW's first official event, Double or Nothing. We're going to start with the buy-in pre-show, and in this was the Casino Battle Royale. Now the way this works was the first 5 participants would come in to the ring to start the match, and every 3 minutes thereafter another 5 would enter until we reached 20. Then there was one participant who drew the Joker card who entered by himself last, making 21 total. The first 5 to enter the ring to start the match were Dustin Thomas, Sunny Days, Mike Nakazawa, MJF, and Brandon Cutler. Now, immediately when the match starts, MJF talks crap right away, saying how he's the best and he's going to win the match. Now, a few minutes in, Mike Nakazawa oils up to avoid being eliminated. It was hilarious. There was no eliminations in the first couple of minutes. The next 5 came down. Brian Pillman Jr., Isaiah Cassidy, Shawn Spears, who you remember as Ty Dillinger in WWE, Jimmy Havoc, and Joey Janela. At some point during the match, Spears Oshigroshi to MJF. It looked pretty nasty. There were still no eliminations at this point, so the next 5 came in. Billy Gunn, Jungle Boy, Mark Quinn, Ace Romero, and Glacier, who you might remember from WCW like 20 years ago. Now the next set of things happened within 30 seconds. Like Nakazawa eliminated by Sunny Days. Glacier missed Sunny Days and gets eliminated. MJF eliminates Glacier, and then Jimmy Havoc burns Joey Janela with a lit cigarette, which was weird, but that fits his style. That's Jimmy Havoc for you. Now the next set were Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus, Mark Quinn, Sonny Kiss, and Tommy Dreamer. I'm sorry, Mark Quinn was already in. I had his notes here, so, During the entrances, Mark Quinn eliminated Brian Pillman Jr., which didn't take very long. He wasn't in very long. That's my fault. Marco Stunt lung blowers to Billy Gunn and then flosses. If you don't know who Marco Stunt is, he's about 5 foot tall, and he is skinny as a rail, but he is hilarious in the ring. Now, Ace Romero dives through the ropes, taking out all the new people that just came in, Tommy Dreamer and all them. I mean, he just dove, and Ace Romero is a big boy, really big. And then after Tommy Dreamer gets up, he goes to the back and brings out his toys, garbage can full of, whatever he's got in his garbage can. I thought it was pretty hilarious. And last in, the Joker, was Hangman Page. You might remember, was supposed to have a match here with Pac, but Pac ultimately quit the company like a week earlier. He did what he said he was going to do and beat up Hangman Page. Page gives Janela the dead eye, which is a maneuver I've never seen before. Ace eliminates Marco Stunt. Jungle Boy eliminates Ace Romero, which was no small feat, by the way. Dustin Thomas gives Joey Janela a 619 into a 450 splash. Then we got Dustin Thomas eliminates Shawn Spears. MJF eliminates Dustin Thomas. Billy Gunn famouser to Brandon Cutler. Cutler eliminates Billy Gunn afterwards. MJF eliminates Brandon Cutler. Sorry for that. I'm recording outside, so you're going to hear some noises. Then we got, let's see what else we got here. We got Luchasaurus eliminates Joey Janela with a choke slam through the table. Tommy Dreamer eliminates Sonny Kiss. Orange Cassidy finally enters the ring and immediately was eliminated by Tommy Dreamer. Jimmy Havoc staples Tommy Dreamer's head and then his balls. Ow, that seemed like it hurt. And then Havoc proceeds to eliminate Tommy Dreamer, which the crowd booed very heavily. Jimmy Havoc eliminates Jungle Boy after MJF threw him over the ropes and he was hanging on. There were some eliminations I didn't see. I don't know what happened to some of the other guys, but the camera didn't catch it either. The final four was Luchasaurus, Page, Jimmy Havoc, and MJF. Luchasaurus eliminates Jimmy Havoc. Hangman Page eliminates Luchasaurus. Page eliminates MJF to get a future world title shot. They'll get that title shot against the winner of the main event. Then there was a montage of Cody and Dustin when they were growing up. It was very touching. And then we got Sammy Guevara versus Kip Sabian. Now Aubrey is the first female wrestler female referee to referee a match on a high caliber pay-per-view event. This happened throughout the match. It was pretty standard, for the first couple of minutes, and then Kip Sabian reverse figure 4 on Sammy Guevara, and that looked like it hurt. Later in the match, Guevara backflipped into another backflip into a shooting star press. It was pretty impressive. Then Guevara suplexed to the outside, hangs on when they get to the floor, and immediately does another suplex. That was impressive for them to go over the top and hang on to each other, both landing on their feet, and then performing a move. Guevara puts Sabian into the railing and then does a shooting star press from the top rope. That was quite a distance he covered there. Guevara goes for the 630. Sabian gets his knees up and then goes into an inverted Michinoku driver. Hey, I got it right. Deathly Hollows. Sabian wins. Now, before the pay-per-view started, Cody, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega come out to welcome everybody to the AEW's first show. Young Bucks take shots at WWE by inflating the attendance record, or the attendance numbers. I thought that was pretty funny. Now we get to the pay-per-view. The first match is SCU versus Strong Hearts. It's going to be Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky versus Cena, T-Hawk, and Lindman. To start off the match, Cena and Daniels match move for move, and it ends with them trying to both do a arm drag at the same time, and they just fall to the mat. And then they just stare at each other. I thought it was pretty impressive. Strong Hearts puts Daniels in an STF position, and then Daniels gets double drop kicked while in there. Oof, boy, it looked ugly. Strong Hearts pop-up knee to Scorpio, into an enziguri, into a flapjack, into a German suplex. That's one hell of a combo. Chain wrestling at its best, obviously. Daniels hits Angel's Wings, tries to pin, but it's the wrong guy. Lindman picks up Daniels into a deadlift German. Kazarian lifts Lindman into a pile driver position. Daniels springboard moonsault. The best Meltzer driver ever. SCU wins. Scorpio didn't really factor in too much in this, which I'm quite surprised actually. Next was the women's triple threat match. Kylie Ray versus Nyla Rose versus Dr. Britt Baker. But before the match starts, Brandy comes out and says that they're going to have their match, but she wanted to make it special, so she added a fourth person, and out comes Awesome Kong. I thought that was great. I haven't seen her for a while. If you haven't seen her wrestle, she's definitely awesome. You need to see it. Right from the start, Kong crushes the other three as soon as the match starts. He starts they start beating on her, and she just powers out and starts beating the crap out of all of them. Later in the match, Britt Baker dives to the outside, and Khan catches her. Kylie Ray flies into a tope suicida and knocks them both down. Sorry guys, I'm reading from my notes. There's a lot here. It's not like a 2-hour episode. This is 5 hours long. Later, Nyla Rose does a spinebuster to Kylie Ray. Splat. That was nasty, because if you haven't seen Nyla Rose, she is a big girl. But she can move. She can do some stuff. Britt Baker gives a sling blade to Nyla Rose. It's pretty impressive. And there was a Tower of Doom spot, which you don't see very often in women's wrestling. It does happen, though. So I've only seen it one other time. Awesome Kong powerbombs Kylie Ray and Britt Baker as they suplex Nyla off the top. Then after they all get up, it takes some time, for all of them to get up. Kylie Ray deadlift German to Britt Baker into a 2 count. Britt Baker does an Oshigoroshi to Kylie, and Britt gets the 1, 2, 3. Next match on the card was Best Friends, Chucky T and Trent Beretta. It's Angelico and Jack Evans. If you haven't seen Chucky T or Trent Beretta, watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're on there quite a bit. And Angelico and Jack Evans, if you haven't seen them, go watch the old episodes of Lucha Underground. Angelico and Jack do a tandem 450 splash, which was pretty impressive. Angelico gives Trent Beretta the stretch muffler. Now, if you haven't seen that, it's where they torque the body in such a way that their leg comes all the way around, and it looks like he's bending them like a pretzel. It's pretty nasty looking sometimes. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this because it is quite long. I'm just going to go over some bullet points in all these matches, so bear with me. Let's see. Best Friends, Chucky T and Trent Beretta, do the Doomsday device to Jack Evans, which is an homage to the Legion of Doom, who are, famous. You should know who they are. If you don't, check out some old videos. They're pretty impressive. Trent Beretta gives Angelico a crucifix buckle bomb, and it's pretty bad. It looked ugly. Beretta puts Jack Evans into a package pile driver, a reverse package pile driver. Instead of facing him, he's turning him outwards. Chucky T stomps on Evans, and Best Friends get the win. Then the lights go out afterwards, after the match is over. And who should appear? I don't know who these guys were. There was like 8 of them. Apparently there's a tag team with a bunch of, cronies with them. I don't know who they are. I'll have to check in on that and see. Now, at this time, they announced that All Out, their next major pay-per-view, is going to be taking place on August 31st in Chicago again. Tickets go on sale June 14th. Next, we had a 3-on-3 women's match. There wasn't much to it. I mean, it was just a standard 3x3. We're going to skip over that right now. Next was Cody and Dustin. Most of us would call that brother versus brother. Cody called it generation versus generation because he wanted to crush the Attitude Era. Cody's entrance was awesome. As he came out, there was a throne with a cross on it as he walked by. And when he got down to the ring, Randy handed him a sledgehammer. And he went back up the ramp and smashed the throne. Symbolism? I'd say so. The throne represents Triple H and Vince McMahon, and Cody was breaking free of them. I thought that was pretty cool. No, don't worry, there's more. There is more. Before the match even starts, the crowd was chanting, "This was awesome." And then after they were done doing that, they were chanting for Dusty. If you don't know, Dusty Rhodes is both Cody and Dustin's father, who wrestled for a very long time and passed away a few years ago. Brought a tear to my eye, I'll tell you that. Dustin goes for a cannonball on the outside, off the apron. Crowd chants, "You still got it," which he does throughout the match. He does. Cody takes out the middle turnbuckle, drop toe holds Dustin into the exposed steel, and Dustin busts his head open pretty good. I mean, it was bleeding throughout the entire match, and bleeding good. It was just pouring out. I mean, Dustin's, not young anymore. He doesn't have a lot of, pumping blood, as fast as some younger guys do. He's 50 years old. I mean, I don't know how much he dumped out, but there was a lot. And then eventually Brandy spears Dustin on the outside, right in front of the referee Earl Hebner, of all people. Earl Hebner, yes, he is still reffing, which is amazing. She argues with him, and then DDP comes out and takes her to the back. I thought that was kind of funny. Dustin gives Cody a flipping powerbomb, what he liked to call Code Red. And then Dustin gives him an avalanche suplex off the top. That took a lot out of Dustin. It took him for a while to get up from that, because that looked like it hurt. Then they exchange crossroads twice. And then with the last crossroads Cody gives to Dustin, he gets the pin. After the match, after Cody walks up the ramp, he walks back down the ramp, gets into the ring, and then he proceeds to say that he signed the match for the next pay-per-view that they're having, a small one. I don't know if it's going to be broadcast or not. It might be just live fans only. But he said that he signed a piece of paper for a tag team match against the Young Bucks, and the crowd erupted. But he also said that he didn't need a partner or want a partner. And the crowd booed. That's quite obvious, because they know what's coming. And then he proceeded to say he needed his older brother, which made just about everybody in the building cry, including myself. I thought that was great. Dustin agrees and gives him a hug. So that's set for whatever the next one is. Then we had Bret Hart, of all people, come out to the ring to unveil the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And boy, does it look nice. You need to see a picture of it. Next we had the AAA tag match. That was the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers, Matt and Nick Jackson, against Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. Boy, I'll tell you what, these guys know how to bring it. There was a super kick party for everybody, not just from the Young Bucks, but from all four of them. There were super kick parties all over the place. Pentagon flipping pile driver on the apron to Matt Jackson, which looked like it hurt him pretty bad. He was holding his neck and his shoulder for the rest of the match. And it looked ugly, and I saw a replay of it. Ugh. Phoenix jumps off the top rope, and gets a double super kick to the face. Matt Jackson brainbuster to Phoenix to the top rope, which looked even uglier. I mean, he didn't just drive him to the ground, he did it right to the rope. That was pretty ugly. Then we had a spot where Pentagon does his break spot, you know, the typical. If you haven't seen it, go watch Lucha Underground. It looks nasty, but who knows? Sometimes he does break arms. This time it looked like he's like pulled a muscle or something. I don't know. Young Bucks do a Meltzer driver to Phoenix, and they win, and Young Bucks win the match. Then we have the main event, Alpha versus Omega. Jericho versus Kenny Omega. Jericho comes out in his Lionheart suit, one of his first gimmicks. The lights go out, they come back on. Now he's dressed with the Y2J gimmick with the light up jacket. Lights go out, they come back on. Now he's got the list of Jericho in his hand. Now that ain't a shot at WWE. I don't know what is. Then the lights go out, they come back on, and then he's the alpha male Jericho with his leather jacket, but he didn't have his face painted this time, which kind of surprised me. It really did. Jericho tries a lion tamer on Omega. Omega escapes under the ropes. He like crawls out. Jericho rings the bell, you know, signifying he won the match. He was just being a goofball at this point. I thought it was pretty funny. Jericho grabs the camera from one of the guys, and he proceeds to film Kenny Omega, who's out in the crowd at this point. Kenny just spits water in his face and he drops the camera. There's a lot of stuff that went on here. They had a chop fest after that, and both of their chests were quite red. And Jericho plays to the crowd a little bit because he might have chopped Kenny in the nose, I think. That's what I saw anyway. It might have been for something else, and it looks like Kenny's got a broken nose because he's bleeding pretty good out of his nose. Jericho pulls out a table. Omega kicks the table with a drop kick through the ropes onto Jericho, and then he gets back in the ring and double stomps the table with Jericho underneath it. Jericho was visibly hurting at this point. Jericho backdrops Omega over the top rope onto the table, which somehow got set up at some point during the match, after Jericho had already been crushed.